Hey guys, what's going on? It's Josh here with Take 'em TV, and today I kind of want to do an overview on my 2023 Mattews V3X. This is the bow that I'm going to be using this year, whether I hunt whitetail or elk. That's kind of what I have planned this year. But I just wanted to do a little overview on my bow and my setup, so that way you guys could copy it if you wanted, or if you guys were looking for information on some of the items that I use on my bow, I could give you guys feedback on that, and so on and so forth. So starting with the bow, like I stated before, it is a Mattews V3X, and I shoot it in the 75-pound limb. I also have it in the 85% let off, and overall this bow is fantastic. I mean, I went from shooting a diamond infinite edge to this bow, and it's leaps and bounds better than the infinite edge, but it also has its drawbacks, with this being more of a hardcore hunting bow rather than the diamond infinite edge. As kind of a learning bow, this bow does have quite a few things that are different from it. But to start off, I shoot the, I don't know if you guys can see it, it is a QAD arrow rest. The ham skis are nice. I've always shot a QAD on all of my bows. I like the drop away. I like the way it works. So I'm going to stick with it. Moving down the line, I have an HHA Tetra single pin slider sight. Not the biggest fan of it overall. I need to get used to it a little more. I kind of wish I would have got a 3-pin or a 4-pin slider, just so that way I wouldn't have to constantly be moving it, and it might be something that I look into changing here before I go out to Colorado this year for elk season. Overall though, the sight is amazing. It's super easy to use, super easy to install, and overall the adjustments on it are very, very simple to use. I mean, you don't need to go to a bow shop and have somebody sight it in for you. As long as they can set up your 3-axis and everything's level on the bow press, you should be golden to do it yourself. Moving on, I shoot a dual stabilizer setup. So I have this Hoyt 8-ounce one on a detachable down here, and then I also have this is just a fuse. I think it's a 6-ounce on my front bar. I noticed that this bow it's top heavy, so having that little bit of back weight kind of helps the bow sit in your hand a little level. And then for the quiver, I just have an octane quiver. This is definitely something that I want to be changing this year. I'm not a fan of this quiver, but it was something that I had last year, and I didn't have the spare money to go ahead and buy a new one. I'm not sure if I want to go with like the Mattews series quivers for this bow, or if I'll do another detachable. I do really like the detachable, and I was also thinking about maybe going to like a quivalizer, kind of like Rob Turkula uses with Lunkers TV. If you guys have ever watched any of his elk hunting videos, he has his arrow quiver down here on his bottom stabilizer, and he said he absolutely loves it for backpacking and for hunting elk, mule deer, and all those kind of things. Overall, this bow is quite amazing, and I will go over my arrow specs with you guys here in just a second. Alright, so the arrows that I choose to shoot are Easton Full Metal Jackets. I shoot the 5mm. I absolutely love these things. I've never had a problem with them. I've always had problems with carbon arrows and then getting wonky in flight and whatever. But these things are rock stars in my opinion. They are super heavy, which I prefer. I like shooting a super heavy arrow setup. This one that I'm holding right here, this is a 601 grain arrow setup. It is not terribly front of center heavy, but it is quite front of center heavy. I just like the front of center, for whitetail especially. when we go out elk season, I'm sure I'll like it there if I have the opportunity to shoot an elk. But for whitetail front of center, just if you have a bad shot, if you're over an inch or whatever and you need to break through a shoulder blade, like it's gonna bust through a shoulder blade for you guys. And that's kind of also the reason why I chose to shoot the QAD Exodus broadhead. They are a 3-blade, and this tip will go through about anything you need it to. I mean, these things are absolute hammers. I also shoot a 60 grain outsert. They're the Easton, they're 60 or 75 grain Easton outserts, just to put even more weight up front. And these broadheads are 125 grains. I mean, I told you guys I like to shoot front of center. I like heavy arrows, and this is a beefy arrow setup to back that up. And then this year, for the vanes on it, I decided to go with the AAE Max Hunter vanes. I was shooting some arrow vanes last year called Zingin' Slings. They're a cool product. The way they work, they slip on, but I was having some consistency issues with them using the Easton FMJs. I have some carbon arrows that I tried them on, and they worked great for what I needed it to do, but for some reason they did not like the Easton FMJ. So, but overall, we're gonna see how these 4-fletch Easton or AAE Max Hunters shoot, and then I'm just running a lighted knock on the back. Now I'm just gonna do a little bit of shooting so you guys can kind of see how the bow works, how it fires, sounds, because that's an important thing to a hunter. But yeah, I'm gonna do a little bit at 20, 30, and 40 today, just kind of get back into the swing of things. So. So that was at 20 yards. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna kind of move this. We're gonna move it out to 30 yards, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set the camera down here about 5 feet away from the target so you guys can hopefully hear the arrows going past it. I do want to apologize for the wind noise though. It is a little bit windy today, but I'm gonna get you all set up here. Okay, so that was 3 shots at 30 yards. And now kind of what I'm thinking of doing is I'm gonna set it back up here. But I'm gonna aim down towards the target for you guys so you guys can watch the flight of the arrow and how those heavy grain arrows and the 75-pound mods on this bow work together to kind of eliminate a lot of the long distance swoop. And I am going to go ahead and move it out to 40 yards right now. So. That's going to go ahead and do it for today's video. I just want to thank you guys for taking your time to watch, and if you guys have any questions on my Mattews V3X, please put it down in the comments. Let me know if you guys want me to try and do a better overview on something that I did today, or if you guys have any suggestions or anything, please put it down in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I'll check you guys out in the next video.